Oh shit, sorry. What does it sound like? That's the sound of my anus. My pubic hair rustling.
I didn't know your anus was around here.
No, the sound.
The world has gone bonkers. We now live in George Orwell's 1984. War is peace, ignorance is strength, and crazy is normal. How do you stay sane? Jason Moss is a visual artist and lecturer at university. I remember asking some friends if they knew you, and they said, "Oh no, because he's kind of an intimidating bitch." So, what do you say to that?
Probably a decade ago, yeah. That probably happened, but no, I'm pretty much relaxed now.
So, a decade ago, why were you a bitch?
Gee, I don't know. I guess I was busy.
So it was just a function of stress.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of stress, let's have some drinks. So so you are
thanks.
not as stressed as you could be.
Thank you. Oops.
Yeah. So how old were you when you realized that art was what you wanted to do for the rest of your life?
Well, I guess I can start off by saying I started drawing when I was 3, started painting when I was 11, and then the fact that you want to continue doing this and realize that you were, it's still it's still a question that still ponders me if I'm like really qualified for it against somebody's standards.
Is this false modesty?
Not really. It's just there, yung
But
parang...
you're already a fairly established artist.
Ano lang, you do question yourself, I guess, from time to time. The art scene here does change, so parang it's pretty different from where you started off, and then you really didn't pay much attention to all that's been happening around the scene.
Yeah, because whenever somebody brings up art, all we hear is ka-ching, ka-ching, because art in the Philippines today seems to be all about the big bucks. Would you say that you are making the big bucks?
No, not at all. Siguro when I was younger in my 20s, but surprisingly at this stage when you'd think na they give a premium to
people who have an
your
established
age.
body of work.
I don't think I'm selling much. Honestly, I don't. I barely make any. There'd be like in one show, you'd be lucky to have like one, I guess. And then commissions in a year, parang 1 or 2.
So this impression that the general public has that artists are minting money, that's only the auction houses, or?
I don't really investigate, but it seems that of course the younger ones they make more.
And then the dead ones. Oh,
The
they're
dead
the ones that make
ones-
record sales.
It goes to the estate.
Yes.
The estate of the dead ones, but not to them.
So you have to be either dead or very young. How did your parents react when you said you wanted to be an artist? Of course, I know your dad. He is like the greatest copy editor in the Philippines. I've witnessed a dictionary fight between him and another. I was there, and another copy editor. They were
I
they were
remember
fighting
this.
over whether something had to be hyphenated or not. So bring out the style manuals, bring out dictionaries. It ended with people throwing things on the table. Now, the Chicago Manual of Style says no. The New York Times manual says yes. So,
I remember that. I think I was in high school, and then kasi he has around 100 dictionaries
okay.
in the hall. So they supported me naman all throughout. They didn't really question what I was doing. They were really supporting me. But at some point, going through college, lumabas na actually. So there was Malang, there's Ang Kyu Kok, there's Andres Cristobal Cruz, and Nick Joaquin. who told me not to take up fine arts.
Really?
So,
Why?
Growing up na yun minamasahe nila ako na parang, they knew naman I was painting. So yung parang it's just an act of parang, you have to be pure, don't talk to other artists, that sort of thing. So parang I grew up thinking that way. So, eventually, 2015, kahit late na, parang doon lang ako ng grant. Tapos, parang doon ako nag-open na makipag-usap sa ibang artist.
Yeah, in line with sanity maintenance, suppose you had not become an artist, would you be in an asylum today? Yeah, what would you be doing if you were not painting, drawing, making sculptures?
Probably be a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Eyebrow.
Okay. I was thinking, live anatomy.
But no, I wanted to work for Jim Henson for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
So parang high school was all parang trying to find ways to get into Jim Henson's creature shop in London.
His son made a Muppet starring movie called Happy Time Murders, which is getting like the worst reviews ever because the Muppets are having sex, taking drugs,
Oh.
Yeah, but maybe if you had worked on that movie, it might have. Not that I'm suggesting you have sex or take drugs. Well, so tell us about your working process from the minute an idea pops into your head to the minute you can you know that it is complete. I asked you to bring your notebooks because when you're not looking, I'm going to steal one of those. But let's see your notebooks.
Oh, okay. So, well, these are old ones.
How many notebooks do you have now?
I think I have around like 50
Okay.
plus. Kasi I
I
tend to
also
draw
have
every day.
like 100 or so journals, but it's all written, and yours are all drawn.
It's either drawn or written. When I was in my 20s kasi parang it's pretty much spontaneous. All I do is just draw, all of these.
Is it like stream of consciousness writing? This is like you're just drawing whatever comes to mind.
Yeah. But lately, kasi I'm presently taking up my masters in UP. So medyo na iba rin yung process ko. I had to adjust to it. It was a struggle. I've accepted it, so parang medyo na iba na siya. I try to maintain being spontaneous naman din. So I do get to work the same way, but now it's pretty much different kasi you get into more writing, and then of course there's technology, and but I still pretty much maintain the old process. The only difference is I get to write more now, and then of course there's the advent of technology.
And do you still have the notebooks? You kept on keeping
up to this day.
Journals.
Meron
Yes.
ang dami pang nakabang kasi parang I'm very pretty much easy to please. So parang you can get me a sketch pad or paper for my birthday or Christmas. So ang dami pa.
Okay.
Ang dami pong nakaabang.
And so, how do you know when a work of art is finished? Because I can tell you that from the writing end, as in a lot of writers don't know how to end, say, a story. So they keep working on it long after everyone has lost interest.
When it's done, it's done. It's pretty much done.
You just know.
The two factors, I guess, one is if a show is coming up, then you do have to finish it and wala ka na talagang choice na yun na yun. Or if it's planned out naman in such a way na, I guess it's gonna be organic somewhere after that na parang it's already planned. You wanna keep on changing it kasi andyan na yung dami ng bosses eh. It's like one is gonna say, it's pretty much done, and then later on you're rotating your sort of processes of thinking. The teacher will step in and then it'll look at it in a different way. You have to keep on closing your eyes to see if it's really done or not.
I recall that a few years ago, it was so easy to get you to take off your clothes. Do you still do that?
No.
No, as in you drink a few drinks na parang, Jason, take it off. And you would. So would you say that you used to be a slut?
No naman.
So the opposite the term that has to be removed is used to be. So why were you more comfortable about
Taking your clothes
taking
off?
your clothes off in the past? As in, you've been photographed in the nude, no?
Yeah, the thrice. Yeah. And siguro, during that time, I was more secure kasi I was doing a lot of sports. I wasn't really that active, and then, I didn't really understand that my body could do that. So parang, oh, you're pretty naman pala, so go.
You don't do
Tanggal.
sports anymore?
Not as much. Ano na lang, going up mountains from time to time if there's a weekend that's free. But the routine that I got into, because I was doing like 11 sports parang during the time.
That's a bit much.
Yeah, I mean, I was depressed kasi when was that? 2013. So parang
So you deal with depression by getting into every physical activity
during
possible.
that time.
And did it help, the endorphins?
Oh yeah, I got addicted to it. One sport just gave birth to another until parang...
So in 2013, that was your sanity maintenance program?
Yeah. Bucket list, actually. Parang all my fears I had to write down.
Yeah, what other fears did you have in there? In that list?
Well, I had a fear of intimacy, so I got into underwater hockey. It's like...
How does underwater hockey get rid of your fear of intimacy?
You get to play with your other teammates. I mean, it's such a way na parang...
I didn't realize that underwater hockey required that.
It was my way of I guess yung how I correlate that fear of intimacy na parang I don't like being touched, yung parang I don't like huddling around the group. I'm not really comfortable with it, On and off kasi parang you become an introvert and an extrovert. So I guess getting into it, I learned a couple of things about kung paano ka makitungo with other people.
Yeah, what else was in the bucket list? I personally do not have a bucket list because I'm not going to die. But you have a bucket list, and what else is on it?
There's fear of heights. So I got into mountaineering.
Did you bungee jump or something? There's something for the fear of heights. Or skydive. What did you fall off
yet.
of?
I fell off a cliff, Mount Apo, a couple of years ago. I fell on my backpack. It was around like 40 feet. So
Wow, you're lucky. No injuries.
An ego lang.
Yeah, but still, I would think something like that would make me think, I cannot be destroyed.
Well, syempre, I was saved by a branch of a tree. Kasi parang...
Broke your fall.
Yeah, it broke my fall. Pero it was around 40 feet kasi you were lying down and then yung tao ganyan ang kaliit.
And how did you get back up?
I had to wait for like 20 minutes before my other group mates came along. Kasi, well, it was my mistake anyway.
So could they have just gone on up the mountain without realizing that you had fallen off a cliff?
Merong locals kasi na nakita
guides.
sa akin, two children. So they're like, Kuya, nangyari sa'yo yung ginagawa mo dyan?
And
Wala,
meanwhile-
yosi lang ako dito.
Meanwhile, the monkey-eating eagles are swirling around, Is it lunch? Is it lunch? Okay,
Eventually,
so fear of intimacy, underwater hockey, big eyebrow. Fear of heights, fall off a cliff. What else?
Fear of depths, took up scuba diving, fear of pushing myself too far. I took up dragon boat, rowing. So it ended there kasi I got an injury from it. So parang na-limit na yung movement.
Suppose my fear is the fear of being a sucky, stupid writer. What would be the solution for that?
Live in my house with dad.
Oh yeah, the torment na. This page is mediocre, etc., etc. Okay, so one advantage of being a creator of art, much like being a writer, is that we work alone. But sometimes, even if you would rather not, we have to work with other people. So what's it like for you to work with other artists? Specifically, tell us about your experience with, was it the Film Museum of Chicago?
Well, I knew who Manny Garibay was, and I've met him naman, so he's nice. And then there were other artists involved. There was sino yung mga yun? Si Aguinaldo, si Impas, Neri, and then who's the other person? That's me. So five Filipinos, and then 5 other Filipino Americans. You know, I'd hear them out. Kasi yung style ko, parang I'd let other people talk first, and then parang I'd take down mental notes.
And I'm guessing you were younger than the others.
No, there was one.
Okay.
Hindi na ako yung younger ngayon. So.
Yeah, it's always very shocking to realize that you're no longer the youngest person in the group, no?
I know.
Yeah, I miss that feeling.
I know.
I guess I
Jay
should start.
Lasada.
I should start hanging out with old people. Anyway.
Yeah.
But have you ever worked on something that caused you to have violent arguments, like grabbing an easel and throwing it, throwing paint, throwing whatever? Do you have temper tantrums like that?
Not anymore.
But did you used to?
Yeah.
And don't you miss having those big dramatic blow-ups?
Oh yeah, definitely. But you know, may gamot naman sa high blood, kaya okay lang naman paminsan. Pero now it's different kasi galing na lang sa ilong, you know. It's like when you're pissed, yung parang you can't really get enraged.
Yes, and also, we can no longer be as free in expressing our innermost thoughts because we will be condemned in the social media.
I know.
All you need is to fight with, you know, is to berate one child with a Twitter account, and then you are demonized by the whole world. I'm really shocked at how mellow you
Now?
are. Yes.
Yeah, I know.
But then you get into all sorts of arguments online, right? Because apart from being a visual artist, you're also very politically engaged.
Presently, yeah.
Yes. How many hours a day do you spend discussing politics online with the pros and the antis?
Right. I only allow myself like 2 hours. Pero not dire-diretso. It's like, pwede kang pasilip-silip, ganyan.
And you were involved in the protests at the sauna.
Yeah, I am with a group of artists who primarily speak for extrajudicial killings, the victims of that in particular.
You know, I think one of the problems that you face is that the term extrajudicial killing sounds both official and difficult to grasp. Why don't you just call it what it is, which is murder?
Yeah. It's
Because you know,
murder,
extrajudicial killings gives it an official ring. Well, not that it isn't committed by the officials, but you know, you kind of have to bring it down to.
Yeah, it's plain murder.
Yeah, it's murder. Anyway, so were you always politically engaged, even in, you know, past administrations?
I was an editorial cartoonist for Today, under GMA and then AirUp's administration. Parang,
So you've always kept abreast of the news?
Yeah, you're supposed to. Pero after that, medyo nawala na. So now it's like you're trying to look, not naman distractions, you're looking for new passions. So parang my new passion is like helping out people who can't stand for themselves. Saka syempre when you're getting older then, di ba, yung parang nag-iba na rin yung concerns mo.
So, given that there's so much noise around us, and you know, social media magnifies everything, and there's a constant flood of information that has to be processed. How do you keep your sanity in a world that is increasingly nuts?
Oh, you just gotta shut it off. Sometimes.
So, how do you do that?
You shut off your social media at some point. You don't really make talk too much. You get out of the house, I guess. Go to openings kung kaya.
Climb mountains
Kung kaya.
when
If
possible,
you have the time,
yes.
yeah.
But you know, this is basically a shock to be talking to you and you being so mellow and practical.
Oh. Now,
I kind of miss the crazier you.
crazier me.
Yeah. Let's talk about crazy you who no longer exists.
Oh,
What was the
God.
craziest thing old Jason did? We know the
Shit.
crazy things that current Jason has done, which are not for public consumption, but what are some of the things you did in the past that you wish you had not done?
Okay, here it is. Oh, jeez. It's weird, no? Yung parang when people talk about you, parang you don't really get to hear much, and then it's been there for like years na pala. So I heard that
Okay.
raped me daw. So yung parang,
I think you would have noticed if it had happened.
yeah, but
Where did that chismis come from?
it's been going around na daw for like years eh. So
And,
parang
then,
I
and then
didn't,
of all possible victims, why you? You're the least victimy person.
yeah, it's a kind of taste naman, di ba? Ano ba? Hey, did you get shot those abs? Where'd it go?
Where did that come from? Could it have been, from a competitor or someone who had a beef against you?
No, it's actually a very reliable source. So
Maybe the alleged perpetrator would like to.
no, not really my type. But yeah,
Okay. No, but that would happen precisely because he's not your type. Okay, of the artists working today, which ones do you look up to, respect?
Chris, Ardenia, sila Emong, sila Marcus Signani. There's too many eh. There's Alwin, Remilo, si Leo Bayo, si Nick Sumbing. Madami.
Do you intend to go on living in the Philippines, or are you like many people thinking, I should think of an escape strategy
Yeah.
and start looking at other countries? What other countries are you looking at?
Berlin's top one.
Berlin. Why Berlin?
No, I was recommended by artist friends na parang, yeah, it's either Berlin, kasi parang sabi nila New York, wala na daw masyado. Although,
Really?
I don't know. So I was aiming for New York, but
Well, I guess in New York, kasi everyone's too busy protesting the current idiot. So.
so it's Berlin, I guess, and then other safer countries na.
I
hindi
hear good
masyado
things about the
mag-
art scene in Berlin.
Yeah, tsaka muna daw. So parang baka pwedeng subukan. I know.
Berlin is very, very artsy, very gay and vegan. That's what I heard. Vegan.
Oh,
Are you
no.
vegan? You like meat?
Yeah, tinawag mo pa akong bakla kung di ako makain ng karne, di ba?
Well, our earlier interviewee was, a gay vegan, which I find a contradiction in terms.
No? Hirap kaya. You look healthy nga pero you're so pasty and I did it for a year.
You lived a year without butter, honey,
Yeah,
and cheese?
I look great but I felt so weak.
Are you the type of person who goes on fad diets in an attempt to control your body? These are control issues, Extreme diets, etc. Because when people are unhappy, they try to exert some sort of tight control over surroundings, which they can't, so they control themselves. Are you a fad diet type?
As far as I went, siguro, not the recent ones like keto and then that other caveman thing. Paleo.
Yeah, I feel that paleo will only work if you personally hunt and kill and skin and cook your food and then you eat it. Yeah. If you're
That can
just
work.
if you're just running around and then you eat a steak, that's not paleo.
I tried the after 6 thing. Don't eat anything after like 6.
Oh, it's been repackaged as intermittent fasting.
So many terms. Yeah, that kind of worked
Everything.
for me.
No, these are just old things that are repackaged with cool new terms.
Yeah, people should just eat anything they want.
Well, yeah, but I broke up with white rice some months ago, and the other night I
What are you
ate a
eating
lot
now?
of sushi because there were California rolls, and I had a stomachache the whole night. I think I can't take white rice anymore.
What?
Yeah, and so since this is the sanity maintenance program, we have to talk about the things that stress you out and how you manage to stay sane despite these stresses.
Okay, at this age, you have like family or internal problems. Yeah, take it out on drawing. You have issues with politics. You join groups that actually push for reform. Support them all the way. School, you just have to like play by the book, I guess. Satisfy your peers and your students. Tapos being an artist din, meron din pressure. So I tend to just overwork na lang with a lot of art projects. Yeah.
So which brings us back to our first question, as in, do you feel that artists have better coping mechanisms for the things in the world that make other people
Most
insane.
definitely because we have the time and the creativity to make something out of nothing.
Yeah, and also you're in the situation where people can say, "Oh, look at Vincent Van Gogh. He didn't sell. He sold 2 things in his lifetime, so okay ka lang." Okay, so Victor.
I'm ready to sell my liver and my body parts. My body not yet. Charot.
But that is a body part, you know.